Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are fine. So today we are going to discuss about your seventh chapter from your supplementary book, that is Snapshot, and the name of the chapter is Birth, and this chapter is written by A.J. Cronin. So as the name suggests, the name of the chapter is Birth. So in this chapter, you can say there is a challenge for a young doctor about a birth of a child. So a young doctor, the characters of the chapters are a young doctor whose name is Dr. Andrew Manson, and he is a assistant doctor of Dr. Page. He is, you can say, practicing under the Dr. Page. And then a person, Joey Morgan, and his wife, Mrs. Morgan, was there, who is expecting her first child after their 20 years of marriage, and Christine, who was the girlfriend of Dr. Andrew Manson and mother of Mrs. Morgan, and also a midwife. Midwife means to say an experienced nurse who was not a nurse by, you can say, by profession. She is not a professional nurse, but you can say experienced nurse, like that we call Dai in Punjabi. So yes, this chapter is taken as an extract from here. The Studdill Andrew Manson, newly out of medical school, has just begun his medical practice as an assistant to Dr. Edward Page in small Welsh mining town of Benelli. So that city was a mining town, means the people belonged to mining profession there. And as he was returning from a disappointing evening with Christine, the girl he loves, he is met by Joey Morgan. Joey and his wife Joe and his wife, who have been married nearly 20 years, are expecting their first child. So, this is a brief introduction of the chapter. Though it was nearly midnight when Andrew reached Bragner, Brian Grove, he found Joe Morgan waiting for him, walking up and down with short steps between the closed surgery and the entrance of the house. At the sight of him, the burly driller's face expressed relief. So, what happened at the midnight? Andrew was, you can say, moving towards his home, and what he found in front of his house, Joe Morgan was waiting for him, and he was walking. You can say walking up and down with short steps between closed surgery and the entrance of the house. And at the sight of the doctor, that person, that is Joe Morgan, who was a driller by profession, he felt very, you can say, he felt a sense of relief. Not feel, actually, he felt a sense of relief. So, oh, doctor, I'm glad to see you. I've been back and forward here this last hour. The missus won't see before time too. So now the person, Joe Morgan, was saying to doctor that I am happy to see you here, and I am walking here or I am waiting for you here for the last 1 hour. And what he is saying that my missus, my wife, needs you right now. Andrew, abruptly recalled from the contemplations of his own affair, told Morgan to wait. So actually, the Andrew was returning after meeting his girlfriend, and he was having, you can say, any kind of argument. It was a disappointing evening for him, so he just stopped all the thoughts that are coming in his mind and asked from Mr. Morgan to wait for a few time. He went into the house for his bag. Then together they set out for the number 12 Belina Terrace. So he took his bag, means all the doctor equipment from his house, and then they set it together, means they both moved towards the house of Mr. Morgan. The night air was cool and deep, was quite mystery, usually so perceptive. Andrew now felt dull and listless, so he was very tired because of his entire day's schedule. He had no premonition, and that this night call would prove unusual. Still less that it would influence his whole future in Blenheim. So he was not expecting so much from that night, but he was just hoping that this night just changed my future as a doctor in this city, Blenheim. The two men walked in silence until they reached the door of number 12. Then Joe drew up short. So just they were walking towards, you can say, in silence towards the house of Mr. Morgan, Joe Morgan, which is number 12. And then Joe drew up short, means he stand over there. I will not come in, he said, and his voice showed signs of strain. but man, I know you will do well for us. So now, after reaching to his house, Mr. Morgan said to Dr. Edward that yes, I know Andrew, sorry, Andrew, not Edward. So he said to Dr. Andrew that yes, I know that you will do best for us, and I am totally interested, so I will not come into the house, inside the house. So inside, a narrow stair led up to the small bedroom, clean and poorly furnished and lit only by an oil lamp. So when you can say Dr. Andrew go to the bedroom, he, you can see, there was only narrow stairs were there, which led him to a small bedroom, and that bedroom was clean but not, you can say, properly furnished. That was not having any kind of proper equipments or furniture, etc., and lit only by an oil lamp. So that was having a light source in that room was only a oil lamp, not electricity was there, no electricity was there. Here Mrs. Morgan's mother, a tall grey haired woman of nearly 70, and the stout elderly midwife waited beside the patient, watching Andrew's expression as he moved about the room. So what he saw in the room, in the room there was Mrs. Morgan's mother, who was an old lady with grey hairs, tall in height, and nearly she was of 70-year old, and stout, means to say strong, and elderly midwife, again I am telling you, midwife means to say a nurse, experienced nurse, but not by profession. So they both were waiting patient, they both were sitting along with Mrs. Morgan, who was a patient at that time, means she was expecting a child after 20 years of their marriage, and they both were sitting and they were watching the expressions of Dr. Andrew's face. Let me make a cup of tea, Dr. Betch, said the farmer quickly after a few minutes. A few moments. So, Mrs. Morgan's mother said to Dr. Andrew, let me make a cup of tea for you. Andrew smiled faintly. He saw that the old woman, wise in experience, realized there must be a period of waiting, that she was afraid he would leave the case, saying he would return later. So Andrew smiled faintly at that woman, and he knew that what is going inside the mind of that woman, because she knew that this case, this delivery case of her daughter, will take a lot of time, and doctor seems like he is tired, so he might run away from this situation. And so, don't fret, mother, I will not run away. So doctor said, don't fret, don't worry, mother, I will be here. You can say, I will not run from the situation. Down in the kitchen, he drank the tea which she gave him. Overwrought as he was, he knew he could not snatch even an hour's sleep if he went home. He knew too that the case here would demand all his attention. A acute lethargy of spirit came upon him. He decided to remain until everything was over. So now it was very much clear to the doctor that he was now left with no time to sleep, etc. He can't take any sleep here, and also this case is very serious and demand all his attention. So he was in you can say strange kind of laziness in his spirit was there, and he decided to remain there everything until everything is fine. So an hour later, he went upstairs again, noted the progress made, came down once more, sat by the kitchen fire. So he moved upstairs again, went to that bedroom where Mrs. Morgan was there, and checked whether there is some kind of progress or not. Again, he came back downstairs and sat by the kitchen fire. It was still, except for the rustle of a kindle in the grate and the slow tick tock of the wall clock. So, rustle of a kindle in a grate means to say voice of fire in that stove, and means that there was complete silence. There was no except voice than that of a kindle in the grate and slow tick tock of the wall clock. No, there was another sound. One more sound was there. That was the beat of Morgan's footstep as he paced in the street outside. Now, as we all know that Mr. Morgan didn't came inside the house, so he was roaming here and there in the street, and from that kitchen paced means to say he was walking in the street, and his footsteps, the voice of his footsteps was also being heard inside the house in the kitchen. So the old woman opposite him sat in her black dress, quite mentionless, her eyes strangely alive and wise, probing, never leaving his face. Means that old lady, Mrs. Morgan's mother, she was also sitting in front of that doctor, and she was observing or probing, investigating the face expressions of the doctor. His thoughts were heavy, muddled. So doctor was actually, he was had spent a disappointing evening with her, you can say, lady love. So he was disappointed and heavy thoughts were coming into his mind. The episode he had witnessed at Cardiff station still obsessed him morbidly. He thought of Bromwell, foolishly devoted to a woman who deceived him sordidly, of Edward Page, bound to a shrewish Blowden, of Danny living unhappily apart from his wife. So he was thinking about different couples. You can say Bramwell, who was also having a different life, means who was foolishly devoted by a woman who deceived him sordidly, and he was thinking about his, you can say, his co-doctor, that was Edward Page, who was bound, you can say, his with his wife, she was Blowden, and of Danny, one of his friend, who was living unhappily apart from his wife. So his reason told him that all these marriages were dismissal failures. So his reason, means to say, his concise was telling him to, his sixth sense was telling him to, that all the marriages are very, you can say, troublesome things, and these are failures, marriages are actually failures. It was a conclusion which in his present state made him wince. He wished to consider marriage as an idyllic state. Yes, he could not otherwise consider it with the image of Christine before him. So he was just imagining the wife, you can say, marriage as a pleasant affair. But when he noticed about other things, other people, he looked into the life of other people, he saw marriage as a different affair. Her eyes shining towards him, admitting no other conclusion. It was a conflict between his level, doubting mind and his overflowing heart, which left him resentful and confused. So he was just confused. There was a conflict between his mind. His mind is saying something different about marriage. His heart was saying something different about marriage. So he was totally confused and a different kind of situation of his mind. He let his chin sink upon his chest, stretched out his legs, stared broodingly into the fire. So he just, you can say, he just comforted himself, means chin sink upon his chest. He sat properly on the chair, resting his chin on the chest, stretched out his legs and stared broodingly into the fire. Started staring, means to say, continuously watching at the fire, flames of fire. He remained like this so long, and his thoughts were so filled with Christian, means he kept on sitting like that for a long time, and his mind, or his in his brain, all the thoughts were, you can say, about Christian was coming. Then he started when the old woman opposite suddenly addressed him. Her meditation had pursued a different course. So now the woman, that is Mrs. Morgan's mother, was sitting in front of him. So she addressed him that, yes doctor, where are you lost? So after that he wake up from, or get over from his thoughts. And she said, Susan said not to give her the chloroform if it would harm the baby. So now she's saying, this old lady is saying to the doctor that Susan said not to give her a chloroform. Chloroform is a, you can say, an aesthetic drug, and aesthetic means बेहोश करने वाली दवा. So वो बोल रही है कि सूजन ने बोला था. सूजन कौन है? मिस्टर मॉर्गन की वाइफ मिसेस मॉर्गन ही सूजन है. So she is saying that Susan has told not to give him any kind of an aesthetic drug, because it might harm his, you can say, her child. And she is awful set upon this child, and she is saying that she is having totally, you can say, her hopes were totally associated with just this child, because she is expecting this child after 20 years of her marriage. And Dr. Batch, her old eyes warmed at the sudden thought. She added in a low tone, we all are, I fancy. And she said, not only for this child is not only important for her, this child is very much important for all of us. He collected himself with an effort. collected himself with an effort, means to say because the doctor was very tired and he was completely lost in the thoughts of Christine. So he collected himself and with an effort उसने अपने आप को संभाला efforts के साथ. It won't do any harm. The anesthetic, he said kindly, they will be all right. So doctor said to the women that any kind of anesthetic drug will cause nothing to Mrs. Morgan, and both the baby and the mother will be all right. Here the nurse's voice was heard calling from the top landing. So the nurse, that is, you can say that lady which is midwife, that is, you can say experienced nurse, she called the doctor from the top floor, and Andrew glanced at the clock which now showed 3:30. So now Andrew glanced means to say he watched or looked at the clock. So the time was 3:03, 3:30, 3:30 clock हो चुके थे, 3:30 morning के AM. He rose and went upon to the bedroom. He perceived that he might now begin his work. An hour elapsed. It was a long, harsh struggle. Then, as the first streaks of dawn strayed past the broke edges of the blind, the child was born lifeless. So, after, you can say, after a great struggle, after a struggle of 1 hour or more than 1 hour, when as the first streaks of dawn strayed, means to say जैसे morning होनी start हुई, at that time child was born and child was lifeless. As he gazed at the still form, a shiver of horror passed over the Andrew. When he saw that stillborn child, he was totally upset. He was totally frightened and afraid of that situation. After all, that he had promised, because he had promised to Mr. Morgan and Mrs. Morgan's mother that the child would be all right and mother will also be all right. His face heated with his own exertions, chilled suddenly. So he was having totally different situation. His body was chilling, means वो ठंडा पड़ रहा था, खुद उसके हाथ पैर नहीं चल रहे थे. He hesitated, torn between his desire to attempt to eradicate the child and his obligation towards the mother, who was herself in a desperate state. Means now he was totally upset how to, you can say, child was also stillborn and the mother was also in a very poor condition, and he was totally upset watching all this condition. The dilemma was so urgent, he did not solve it consciously. Blindly, instinctively, he gave the child to the nurse and turned his attention to Susan Morgan, who now lay collapsed, almost pulseless and not yet out of ether, upon her side. So now what he was totally confused that what he do now, whether he should you can say move toward the child, or whether he should move toward or take care of the mother. So he finally you can say hand over the child to the nurse and moved toward the mother, who was in a very, you can say, very poor condition, collapsed, almost collapsed and pulseless. उसकी pulse भी नहीं चल रही थी, and not yet out of ether. Out of ether means to say, ether is the name of the drug that is used as an anesthetic, means बेहोश करने की दवा. उसकी अभी वो उसका असर भी कम नहीं हुआ था, and she was all, you can say, in a very bad condition. His haste took him only an instant to smash. His haste was desperate, a frantic race against her ebbing strength. It took him only an instant to smash a glass ampule and inject the medicine. So she was of, you can say, very poor strength, of having very you can say less strength in body. And what doctor did, उसने एक medicine की जो थी वो तोड़ा, glass को break किया, and उसमें से जो medicine थी उसका injection जो था उसको दे दिया. Then he flung down the hypodermic syringe and worked unsparingly to restore the flaccid woman. After a few minutes of feverish efforts, her heart strengthened. He saw that he might safely leave her. So after some time, जैसे उसने medicines दी वो recover करना start होगी उसके efforts की वजह से, he swung around एंड उसने सोचा कि अब मैं इसको छोड़ सकता हूँ. फिर उसने क्या किया, ही swung round in his shirt sleeves, his hair sticking to his damp bro. So now he was, you can say, swung round his shirt sleeves को उसने fold किया, and उसके hair जो थे वो उसकी bros के साथ stick कर रहे थे because of sweat. Where is the child? Now he asked from the nurse that where is the child. The midwife made a frightened gesture. gesture, and she had placed it beneath the bed. Now, जो midwife थी, she was totally, you can say, of a pessimistic nature, and doctor was of optimistic nature. So she was, you can say, a hopeless lady who left that child under the bed because she thought this child is no more. So she was completely frightened and hopeless woman, and she had kept that baby under the bed. In a flash, Andrew knelt down, fishing amongst the sodden newspaper below the bed. He pulled out the child. So because nurse has wrapped that baby in newspapers and kept that baby under the bed, so Andrew knelt down, and you can say he pulled out their child outside. A boy perfectly formed means that baby was a baby boy, and all his body parts were completely formed. The limp, warm body was white and soft as tallow. बट उसकी जो बॉडी थी वो वाइट कलर की हो चुकी थी, बिल्कुल एक एनिमल के फ्लैश की तरह. एंड द कॉर्ड हेस्टिली स्लैश्ड ले लाइक अ ब्रोकन स्टेम. The skin was of lovely texture, smooth and tender. The head rolled on the thin neck. The limbs seemed boneless. Means all his body was, you can say, totally like looking like lifeless, tender, soft, and head rolled on the thin neck. Means the head was not properly standing and limbs seemed boneless. उसकी limbs में ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे bone ही नहीं है. Still kneeling, Andrew stared at the child with a haggard frown. So he was looking at the child, and he was totally upset what to do now. The whiteness meant only one thing: asphyxia, plagia, and his mind unnaturally tense, raced back to a case he once had seen in Samaritan, to the treatment that he had been used. Instantly, he was on his feet. So he was looking at that child carefully, and after observing that this child has white skin, completely white skin. So he was just try to recognize what kind of disease or what kind of problem it is. So he just remembered about one thing, and he found that this is, you can say, asphyxia or pallida. Or what is this? Means suffocation or unconscious condition caused by the lack of oxygen and excess of carbon dioxide in the blood. And this is accompanied by paleness of skin, weak pulse, and loss of reflexes. So because the nurse has wrapped that baby in a newspaper, and she had kept that baby under the bed, so because of that nothing had happened to the baby, but he was having a lack of oxygen in his body and excess of carbon dioxide. So that is why he was unable to breathe properly, and this was the condition of the baby right now. Get me hot water and cold water, he threw out to the nurse. And basins too, quick, quick. But doctor, she faltered, her eyes on the pallid body of the child. Quick, he shouted. So now again the doctor said to the, you can say, that nurse, that please bring hot water and cold water and basins also, means tubs, etc. also, and quick, please do this fast. And she said, but doctor, the baby is of a very, you can say, pale color body and completely white body. So because she was not having any hope that we can save this child, but doctor was having. So doctor again said, quick, do it quickly. And he shouted like this, snatching a blanket, he laid the child upon it and began the special method of respiration. So he snatched the blanket, laid the child on that blanket, and started a special method of respiration. And what was this method? The basins arrived, the ewer, the big iron kettle. Frantically, he splashed cold water into one basin, and to other he mixed water as hot as his hand could bear. So he took cold water in one basin, and in another basin he added some hot water and cold water, mixed some hot and cold water, so that he put his hand into that hot water, so that means that much hot water that a person can bear, tolerate. So then, like some crazy juggler, he hurried the child between the two, now plunging it into the icy, now it into the streaming bath. So what he started then, उसने जैसे ही बच्चे को उठाया और उसको पहले वो हॉट वाले टब में डाल देता है, फिर उसको निकाल के जल्दी से कोल्ड वाले में, आइसी कोल्ड वाले में. सो ही कीप ऑन रिपीटिंग दिस प्रोसेस अ नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स. हॉट में से कोल्ड, कोल्ड में से हॉट, एंड कीप ऑन रिपीटिंग दिस थिंग. A desperate sense of defeat pressed on him. sorry, one thing left. So yes, 15 minutes passed. Sweat was now running into Andrew's eye, blinding him. So he kept on doing this thing, and 15 minutes passed and sweat was running into his eyes. Means पूरा उसके forehead से जो sweat है उसकी आँखों में आ रहा है, जिसकी वजह से उसको दिख भी नहीं रहा. One of his sleeves hung down, उस dripping means उसकी एक आर्म जो उसने fold की थी sleeves वो भी खुल के नीचे आ गई है. His breath came pantingly, but no breath came from the legs body of the child. Means उसका सांस फूल फूल के आ रही है, लेकिन अभी भी बच्चे की बॉडी में से जो उसकी completely silent body है उसमें से कुछ भी response नहीं आ रहा. A desperate sense of defeat pressed on him, a raging hopelessness. Means he was now totally disappointed that I am failed. He felt the midwife watching him in stark consternation, while there pressed back against the wall where she had all time remained. Her hand pressed on to her throat, uttering no sound, her eyes burning upon him, was the old woman. So now the situation of you can say midwife was not also same. She was also very depressed, and old lady was also very depressed. And he remembered her longing for a grandchild as great as had been her daughter's longing for the child. So now he was looking at that old woman, Mrs. Morgan's mother. She was totally upset, and he can understand her situation, because she was you can say she was very hopeful regarding his grandchild. And also her daughter Mrs. Morgan was also very, you can say, having very much desire of having that baby. All dashed away now, futile, beyond remedy. Means now it seemed like he can't do anything, and it is beyond remedy. उसके पास इसका कोई इलाज नहीं है. The floor was now a draggled mess. Stumbling over a sopping towel, Andrew almost dropped the child, which was now wet and slippery in his hand, like a strange white fish. So now he was totally disappointed, and he was almost to drop that child, because he was completely wet and slippery, because he was adding that child into water again and again. So that child looked like a white fish, and totally like a flash of white fish. For mercy's sake, doctor, whimpered the midwife, it's stillborn. सो नाउ उसको वो मिडवाइफ भी सजेस्ट कर रही है कि अब इसको छोड़ दो आप, ये एक स्टिल बॉर्न है, ये इसमें जान नहीं है. एंड्रू डिड नॉट हीड हर, उसने उसका नहीं सुना. बीटन, डिस्पायरिंग, having labored in vain for half an hour, he still persisted in one last effort, rubbing the child with a rough towel, crushing and releasing the little chest with both his hands, trying to get breath into that limp body. So now that lady, that you can say midwife, that nurse, was also saying to the doctor that leave this child now. But he knows that all his you can say half hour labor was in vain, totally in waste, but he still persisted in one last effort. He again wanted to make his one last effort, and he rubbed the child against a rough towel, and crushing and releasing the little chest, उसकी जो chest थी उसको press कर रहा था वो with his both hands, and trying to get breathe into the limp body, ताकि उसकी जो limp body है उसमें से breathe आना start हो जाए. And then, as by a miracle, the pygmy chest which his hands enclosed gave a short convulsive heave, another and another. So finally that body started responding, that baby started responding, and it was like a miracle. वो चमत्कार हो गया, उसकी chest जो थी उसमें सांस आने लग गई, and one breath and another and another. Andrew turned giddy, the sense of life springing beneath his fingers after all that unavailing striving was so exquisite it almost made him faint. So he was just so happy that he was about to faint. वो खुद बेहोश होने वाला था, उसके इतने efforts के बाद वो बच्चा जो था उसने respond किया. He redoubled his efforts फेवरिशली. सो उसने अपने जो एफर्ट्स थे जो वो हैंड से कर रहा था उसको डबल कर दिए जल्दी जल्दी से. द चाइल्ड वॉज गैस्पिंग नाउ डीपर एंड डीपर. अ बबल ऑफ म्यूकस केम फ्रॉम वन ऑफ टेनी नॉस्ट्रिल, अ जॉयफुल इरिडेसेंटेड बबल. सो फाइनली उसकी नोज़ में से भी कुछ यू कैन से वाटरी सब्सटेंस, फ्लूइड सब्सटेंस, म्यूकस जिसे हम बोलते हैं जो नोज़ में होता है, उसका बबल आने स्टार्ट हो गई. The limbs were no longer boneless, and the limbs were also feeling lifeful now, full of life. The head was no longer lay back spinelessly. The blanched skin was slowly turning pink, and then excusantly came the child's cry. So now the child was recovering, breath came, then ऐसा लग रहा था कि अब उसकी बोन्स में जान आ गई है, उसकी जो लिम्स थे उनमें बोन्स आ गई हैं, एंड उसका जो हेड था वो भी अब लटक नहीं रहा था, वो भी ठीक हो गया था, एंड उसकी जो स्किन है वो टर्निंग पिंक, मीन्स उसमें रेड कलर का जो हमारा ब्लड होता है उसकी वजह से वो पिंक टर्न होनी शुरू हो गई, उसकी ब्लड सप्लाई स्टार्ट हो गई है बॉडी में, एंड फाइनली द चाइल्ड क्राइड, और उसने अब रोना भी स्टार्ट कर दिया। डियर फादर इन हेवन, द नर्स सॉब्ड हिस्टेरिकली, इट्स कम अलाइव। सो अब उसने भी, नर्स ने भी, डियर फादर इन हेवन मीन्स उसने गॉड को बोला थैंक गॉड कि ये बच्चा भी जिंदा है। एंड्रयू हैंडेड हर द चाइल्ड, एंड उसने उसको हैंड ओवर कर दिया। ही फेल्ट वीक एंड डेज्ड अबाउट हिज, द रूम ले इन a shuddering litter, blankets, towels, basins, soiled instruments, hypodermic syringe impaled by its point in the linoleum, the evil knock over the kettle on its side in a puddle of water. So the room, he was describing the condition of room, and as we know that there were lot many things, blankets were there, towel, basins, etc., syringes were there, so everything was scattered in the room, kettle was there, so all was, you can say, completely mess. The room was completely mess. Upon the huddled bed, the mother still dreamed her way quietly through the anesthetic. सो अभी भी मदर को पूरी होश नहीं आई थी, वो अभी भी अनेस्थेटिक ड्रग के नशे में थी। द ओल्ड वुमेन स्टिल स्टूड अगेंस्ट द वॉल, एंड दैट ओल्ड वुमेन, मिसेस मॉर्गन्स मदर, शी वॉज स्टैंडिंग स्टिल along the wall also, but her hands were together, her lips moved without sound. She was praying to God. Yes, thank God that child is safe now. So mechanically Andrew wrung out his sleeve, pulled on his jacket, and I will fetch my bag later, nurse. So you can say उसने अपनी फिर से अपनी स्लीव को ऊपर उठाया एंड अपनी जैकेट को पुल किया, एंड ही सेड दैट मैं अपना बैग बाद में ले जाऊँगा नर्स, एंड ही वेंट डाउनस्टेयर थ्रू द किचन इनटू द scullery. Scullery means to say the portion of the kitchen where the, you can say, where we wash dishes, etc. So he moved into the kitchen and into the scullery, and his lips were totally dry. At the scullery he took a long drink of water. So he, you can say, he drank water, a lot of quantity of water, he drank in a lot of water, because he was, you can say, he came out of totally a drastic condition now. He reached for his hat and coat. उसने अपनी hat और coat उठाया. Outside he found Joe standing on the pavement with a tense expectant face. So बाहर उसने देखा कि जो खड़ा है वो Mr. Joe Morgan was there, and he was standing with the, you can say, with a tensed face and with an expectant face. He was expecting that doctor will give me a good news. So all right Joe, he said thickly, both all right. So he said to Mr. Morgan that your wife and your child both are all right now, so you may go inside the house. It was quite light, nearly 5 o'clock, and now there is a, you can say, sun was rising and it was quite light outside, and the time was nearly 5 o'clock. A few miners were already in the streets, the first of night shift moving out, and few miners, because the city was completely of miners community, so few miners were there out in the street. And as Andrew walked with them, spent and slow, his footfalls echoing with others under the morning sky, he kept thinking blindly, oblivious to all other work he had done in Blenny. I have done something, oh God, I have done something real at last. So he was full of satisfaction now. He was, you can say, very happy and in a pleasant situation now, that finally he saved that child, and finally he did, you can say, best thing in his life. He was saying, yes God, I have done something, I have done something real at last. So this was the story Birth, and I hope you have enjoyed this chapter. So the idea of this chapter is that we should never give up under any kind of circumstances. We should fight to, you can say, fight towards the best and to get the best results. So this is all about your chapter Birth. So thanks for listening and have a nice day.